Chapter 2. The Myth of Perfection. The lie we all believe. Perfection is the holy grail of modern life. It is what we are told to strive for in every area: our work, our relationships, our bodies, and even our social media profiles. We have been sold the idea that the closer we get to perfection, the closer we will get to success, happiness, and peace of mind. But here is the uncomfortable truth: perfection is not real. It is not just unattainable, it is a lie. And chasing it will leave you exhausted, anxious, and stuck. From the time we are old enough to hold a crayon, we are taught that mistakes are bad. Coloring outside the lines? Wrong. Writing a sentence with a grammatical error? Bad. Turning in a project that is 95% complete but not flawless? Unacceptable. We carry these ideas into adulthood, where they manifest as perfectionism, the paralyzing belief that if something is not perfect, it is not worth doing at all. But here's the kicker: perfection doesn't exist. It is like chasing a shadow. You can see it, but no matter how fast or far you run, you will never catch it. And worse, the pursuit of perfection kills more dreams than failure ever could. Why? Because it stops you from ever getting started. Perfection is fear in a fancy outfit. Let us call perfectionism what it really is: fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of not measuring up. It wears a clever disguise, though. It makes you think that if you can just get everything in order, you will be safe. That if your work, your life, or your appearance is flawless, no one will have anything to criticize. But deep down, perfectionism is just fear in a fancy outfit, and the more you feed it, the more it takes over. Fear loves to keep you stuck. It whispers in your ear, "You are not ready yet. Just wait until it is perfect. You will know when the time is right." But the truth is, that time never comes. Waiting for perfection is like waiting for a train that is never going to arrive. You could spend your whole life at the station, missing opportunity after opportunity, all because you were afraid to get on the train with a few rough edges. The cost of chasing perfection. Perfectionism comes with a high price tag, and it is not just about missed opportunities. It costs you your peace of mind, your creativity, and your ability to connect with others. When you are constantly striving for perfection, you are also constantly worried about making mistakes, and that worry takes up valuable mental real estate. You become so focused on what could go wrong that you never give yourself the chance to see what could go right. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine someone who spends hours, days, or even weeks obsessing over the smallest details of a project, fixing, tweaking, adjusting, until it is perfect. But here is the catch: it never gets out into the world. That brilliant idea, that piece of art, that business plan, it never sees the light of day because it's always one step away from perfection. And as a result, that person, let us call them Perfect Pat, misses out on opportunities that could have changed their life. Meanwhile, another person, let us call them Messy Marty, puts their work out there even when it is not flawless. Marty knows it is not perfect, but they also know that getting feedback, learning from mistakes, and iterating is part of the process. While Pat is still perfecting, Marty is growing, improving, and getting closer to success. Who do you think wins in the end? Spoiler alert, it is Marty. Every single time. Progress beats perfection every time. Here's the truth that perfectionism doesn't want you to know. Progress is what actually leads to success, not perfection. Taking action, even when you don't feel ready, is far more valuable than waiting until everything is flawless. Why? Because action creates momentum. And once you have momentum, everything else becomes easier. Think of it like this. You are standing at the base of a mountain, and you want to climb to the top. Perfectionism will tell you to wait until you have the best gear, the perfect weather, and the ideal route mapped out before you start. Progress, on the other hand, says, take the first step with what you have. You will figure out the rest as you go. Messy Marty may not have the perfect route or the latest gear, but they are halfway up the mountain while Perfect Pat is still sitting at the bottom, waiting for the conditions to be just right. Perfection paralysis. Perfectionism often leads to what I like to call perfection paralysis, that feeling of being stuck in place because nothing seems good enough to move forward. You tinker with details, rewrite the same sentence 5 times, and obsess over how others will perceive your work. And while you are doing all of that, time is slipping away. You are stuck in a loop of endless preparation with no action. This kind of paralysis can happen in any area of life, from work to relationships to personal projects. Maybe you've been meaning to start that side business, but you're waiting for the perfect moment. Or maybe you're holding off on applying for that dream job because your resume isn't perfect. Or perhaps you've been putting off that difficult conversation with a friend because you're not sure how to say the perfect thing. But guess what? There is no perfect moment. There is no perfect thing to say. And if you wait for perfection, you will miss your chance to take action altogether. Narrative, the artist's exhibition. Meet Leo, an artist who has spent years working on his collection. Every brushstroke, every detail of his paintings has been painstakingly perfected, or at least, that is what Leo thinks. The problem? He has never shown his work to anyone because it is never done. Every time he looks at it, he sees something that could be improved, something that is not quite right. So, he keeps tweaking, keeps adjusting, and keeps hiding his work away. One day, his best friend, tired of Leo's perfectionism, secretly submits one of his paintings to a local gallery's exhibition. When Leo finds out, he is horrified. It's not ready, he says. It's not perfect. But it is too late. The gallery loves the painting, and it is on display. At first, Leo is anxious, waiting for someone to point out the flaws. But something surprising happens. People connect with the painting. They do not see the imperfections that Leo is so obsessed with. They see the emotion, the passion, the beauty in its rawness. The gallery goers are not looking for perfection. They're looking for something real, something that speaks to them. Leo's story is a reminder that perfection is not what draws people in. Authenticity does. And sometimes, the very flaws we are afraid to show are the things that resonate most with others. Practical exercise, ditching perfectionism for progress. Now it is time for you to take action and kick perfectionism to the curb. Here is an exercise to help you shift from chasing perfection to embracing progress. Reflection. Think of a project or goal that you have been putting off because you do not feel ready or it's not perfect yet. Maybe it's launching a business. Maybe it's finishing a creative project. Maybe it's even starting a new fitness routine. Write down the reasons you have been delaying. What specifically are you waiting for to be perfect? Action step. Now, challenge yourself to take one imperfect action toward that goal. It could be something small. Send that email. Share your work with someone for feedback. Commit to a small step forward, even if it feels awkward. Over the next week, track how it feels to take imperfect action. Write down any thoughts or emotions that come up and notice whether you feel more energized or less stressed by focusing on progress over perfection. Final thought. Perfectionism is a trap that keeps you stuck in place. The sooner you let go of the need for everything to be flawless, the sooner you will start making real progress. Remember, it is not about getting it perfect. It is about getting it done. So go ahead, Take that unpleasant first step and watch how things start to unfold.